After this most recent chapter, the Dragon Ball fandom is very, very split. Half of fans are very upset Vegeta lost and think that Granola's power-up is impossible and doesn't make any sense because of the dragon, and the other half think that it does make sense because he just has more innate power within him and he can just draw it out. He just didn't know how to use it. Today we have a guest for this video who I would consider to be the checks and balances of the Dragon Ball community, one of the more critical members. I do like to get other perspectives from people. Recently he's been on this crusade to try and get Dragon Ball fans to be a little bit more open-minded to criticism. So this one might come as a surprise. Please welcome Mad Black Anime to the channel. He's saying, I'm able to multiply your current strength by condensing any and all power you could have accumulated in your lifetime. So that's supposed to say that he's at a ceiling, right? And then he says, I have to thank you saying you're responsible for drawing out this power of mine.
I think what happened is during the fight, he wasn't at the peak of that power. He wasn't at his ceiling yet, but gradually as the fight went on, he reached that ceiling. Like I guess you could say it's like accumulating experience during the fight. Kind of, you remember at the end of Z when Oob was fighting Goku, and as he fought, he got stronger, right? And he learned how to fight as he was fighting. I think that's what happened here. I think he already had the power. He just didn't know how to draw it out until he got into this battle with Vegeta. That's what I think happened.
Well, I can understand like battle experience and maybe like learning how to use your techniques better, but like the whole eye thing, like awakening the second eye, that to me, that's BS. Because if he would have had that like the eye the whole time and just activated it there to surprise Vegeta and, you know, take the advantage and been like, you know, I had this trick up my sleeve, I would have been okay with it. But the problem is like, oh, you awakened this like from within me. So it's like, what is the entire point of telling us that Granola is at his cap when he can still get stronger by fighting anyway? It completely defeats the purpose of the original statement, which is that you're the strongest in the universe, but you're at your cap. You can't get any stronger, but now you can get stronger. So like, there's no point in the dragon of even having said that like in the first place.
Yeah, you got a very valid point. I mean, the only way I can explain it is just that they screwed up. They wrote themselves into a corner with Goku and Vegeta's power. If you want to be honest, Vegeta should have easily beat this guy because this guy has like no fighting experience. Vegeta is a fighting tactician. So realistically, Vegeta should have destroyed this dude. But because they wrote themselves into this big corner that they want Granola to be the strongest, they basically put in all this contrived BS.
Well, right. It's an ass pull. Like that's the issue I have with it. Like I could understand a few things, okay? I could understand Vegeta losing because this is his first time using the form and he's drunk on the power he's getting by taking hits and like, oh, you took too much. That's his ego getting the best of him. That's why his name is called that. That makes sense, right? So if Vegeta would have just barely lost because he took too much damage and he was like, shit, you know, I gotta, learn how to use this form better or something, like I got too greedy, I would have been fine with that. Like that would have made sense. But the problem is it didn't matter. It doesn't matter because the guy can just, Toyotaro now has basically gave himself the ability to, instead of having a bar that Goku and Vegeta can reach, he can just always raise the bar whenever he wants and say it's more battle experience.
I think what's going on is the characters are as weak or as strong as the story needs them to be.
Exactly.
That's what's going on because Goku looked invincible for a while, and now he gets dropped with a single blow. By making Goku and Vegeta lose, and this guy unlocking this ass pull power, now Goku and Vegeta got to get stronger. It's a power creep. It's going to be a constant thing. So the next time around, Goku and Vegeta are going to get way stronger, or they're going to do what I'm afraid is coming next. They're going to do fusion.
Yeah, I talked about that in the video I posted today. What I said is like, what happens when they fuse, right? Like, first of all, which eyebrows do they get? Secondly, one of them dodges all attacks, the other one gets stronger from taking attacks. So it's like two conflicting styles. So like, how would a Ultra Instinct Ego Gogeta even fight? Like, I don't even think it would work anymore. Or it could be the opposite in that he could dodge anything, and if you actually do hit him, you just make him stronger, which would be like the ultimate combo, I guess.
I don't even think they could fuse in those forms because in order to fuse, you have to be at matching power levels. I think Vegeta's form is too chaotic to be able to fuse with Ultra Instinct. It's like the polar opposite of Ultra Instinct.
Right.
And I don't think those two things could mix anyway. So if they fuse, it'll be Super Saiyan Blue.
Yeah, they'll probably go blue. The thing is, in this chapter, like Vegeta kept saying, or he said it twice, he's like, yes, I can feel it. I'm getting stronger. Like, this is awesome. But the more he says that, the more he's losing. Like, I didn't get the sense at all that he was getting stronger in the fight. The only sense that I got was, unless it just didn't seem like that because Granola was awakening more of like battle experience, right? But yeah, I mean, I guess you could compare him to Oob. I think that's actually a really, really good comparison because that does make some sense. I don't know. I wish that he would have had the eye the whole time and that was like his trump card instead of awakening it. Because from what the dragon said, like you shouldn't be able to accumulate any more power. Like having that eye is accumulating
he
a
should be at
shitload
the ceiling,
more
but
power.
he broke through the ceiling basically.
Yeah, like if he was stronger than Vegeta and Goku, but Goku and Vegeta were winning in the beginning just simply because they have so much battle experience, and then Granola turned the table slowly because he was learning as he fought, that would make more sense. But
yeah, I get what you're saying. Like learning battle techniques and fighting techniques are different than just suddenly getting a whole new level of power out of nowhere.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's my main argument.
Yeah.
It was a massive jump, like he was getting his ass kicked by Vegeta, and then all of a sudden he starts turning the tables, like, and while Vegeta's getting stronger too. I mean, you're trying to tell me that battle experience has a higher percentage increase of combat ability than Vegeta's entire form? Like, battle experience isn't that fast, dude.
The power levels, who's this, who's that, it's whatever its story needs. Like right now, the story needs Granola to be the strongest. But
I'll tell you what, the story needs explaining things, and it needs like clear set bars. Like, right? Like that's never gonna happen. Like, imagine if in the Frieza saga, Frieza goes his 100%, right? And he's fighting Goku and everything, but he's like, oh my God, I can go above 100%. Like, and he goes 200%. You can't, like 100% is the bar. Like, it's a cap that you can't go over. You can't go to 101%.
Did you watch Torotaro's interview where he said that Goku is perfect, but he can go beyond perfection?
Yes.
That's what I've been saying for the longest. That Goku, when they said that he mastered Ultra Instinct when he got the white hair and all that, they later came back and said, yeah, you mastered that level of Ultra Instinct, but there are several more levels of it above your level. And I just honestly had steam coming out of my ears, because if you mastered something, then that means it's done. There's nothing else to learn. Right. That's like a kung fu master going to another master and saying, please teach me. It's ridiculous. And that's pretty much what they're doing now. And they're doing it with all the characters, though, except for Frieza. He's the only one we haven't seen yet get some massive buff, but it's probably coming.
Yeah, I spoke about that I have a feeling like it's possible. Like, imagine if Frieza's been training this whole time and he's actually the real villain. He's got his diamond form or some horse shit like that. I mean, it's very possible. Like, we haven't heard a bleep about or anything from Frieza in this entire arc, and he really is the main focus of the story here, right? He's the backstory. So, like, he's got to come in at some point, right?
Well, he is no way they're going to get rid of Frieza permanently. I actually made a video about it. I said that even if Granola kills Frieza or Goku and Vegeta kill him, somebody's gonna wish him back because it's free.
Yeah, he's too much he's like the Team Rocket of Dragon Ball. Like, he's just the reliable villain that's always there causing trouble.
That is actually a great analogy, because he's as much a part of Dragon Ball as Goku is.
Coffee is one of my best friends, and that's why today I've decided to partner with Trade for today's video. Trade connects you with the best coffee from the nation's top sources that you can't find in the store. I was literally blown away. Like, this is honestly probably the best coffee I've ever had. This Bird Rock coffee from California is so delicious. It's rich and creamy and smooth. Don't run out of coffee and head to your grocery store and buy cheap processed powder. With Trade, freshly roasted coffee arrives at your door on your schedule. Trade matches your own personal selection of coffee and ships it straight from the roastery to you at peak freshness. It's just so fresh. It's nothing like going into the grocery store. Step 1, take the quiz. Answer questions about how you like your coffee, and Trade will curate matches specifically for you. Next, it drops off to your door. Choose your delivery frequency and it'll appear right at your doorstep. Rate your matches so Trade can continue to delight you with coffees you'll love. Trade uses compositable packaging to ship all of their coffee in, and they guarantee that you'll love your first coffee, so much so that if you don't, they'll send you a new bag for free. All of my viewers get their first bag of coffee for free when they sign up, and shipping is free too. Just take the quiz by clicking the link in the description and get started with some of the most best coffee you'll ever taste today. So who do you think's going to eat the senzu bean that Vegeta has in his armor?
I want to say Vegeta. Goku can heal himself. He's already doing it.
So is he using like the God Super Saiyan God healing? Like, is that what he's doing, or is it like he's just heating up his body to like make his cells move faster and regenerate? I mean,
I don't know. It looks like he just touched himself and started healing his wounds. I mean, I didn't know he could do that. So
yeah, I don't think anybody did. I mean,
I was kind of shocked. I was like, wait a second. So he's a Kai now? Or, I mean, did Whis teach him this? I don't understand where that's coming from. So whatever they need to keep the story moving, they just do now. Now, I remember him, bringing Master Roshi back to life in the tournament, but that wasn't healing.
He shocked his heart. Yeah, he did the same thing to himself against Hit. Remember when Hit like killed him and he threw up a blast that landed and like shocked him back to life?
Yeah, that's not the same as healing wounds.
Right.
So, because a lot of people were saying, well, he's done this before, and I went all the way back to Z, and I don't see anything where he's touched himself and healed wounds. I've never seen it.
Just in Battle of Gods was the only time he did that. Yeah,
well, he was healing automatically there though because of the God form or whatever. But this was different, I guess.
But like, what about if he's had it? Like, what about when Moro pierced him through the heart? Like, why didn't he just heal himself, right? Or pierce him through the chest? Like, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's the writing is. It's a la carte. That's what it is.
Yep.
It's like when you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet and you just pick whatever you want, put on your plate. Well, that's what they're doing. It's like, what powers do Goku and Vegeta need right now?
Or the villains, like
or the villains. What powers do they need right now? They're risking losing a good portion of the fan base. Like I said this a long time ago, and I still think it's true. I think that Vegeta gets these random power-ups because they go so long with doing nothing but giving Goku transformations and power-ups, and Vegeta gets left in the dust.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Vegeta gets a random power-up out of nowhere. And I think they know they're going to lose the Vegeta fan base if they don't do something. So they just give him these unexplained transformations. Because when he got Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, it was because Goku had went way past Vegeta at that point.
Yeah, he had Kaioken times 20.
Yeah.
So he's like 20 times stronger than Vegeta. Yeah.
Yes, they had to give him something, not to mention the Ultra Instinct stuff. Even though Goku hadn't figured it out at that point, he still had it. So he had two new forms. Vegeta still stuck at blue. So they had to give him evolution. And then Goku advances the Ultra Instinct to the level it's at, and Vegeta's left in the dust again. So they had to give it to him. It's the same thing with red and blue. Yep. They didn't even really show us how Vegeta unlocked these forms. He went to the planet, Beerus's planet. He trained, blah blah blah, and he suddenly showed up with these forms. And it's all to keep up with Goku. He's Goku 2.0.
Yeah, I mean I actually talked about that in my video today, and that like they keep giving Vegeta stuff like they didn't explain Super Saiyan Blue evolution at all. It was just like, let's just give him a power boost just so he can kind of be equal to Goku. And in this sense, with this new Ultra Ego form, is he as strong as Goku? Maybe for now. Maybe he's even slightly stronger than Goku right now, but he won't be by the end of the arc. Like, Goku's gonna go Ultra Instinct 2 or something and like get the finishing blow. Maybe they work together and now they're equal. So maybe, but eventually,
I think Goku's gonna find a way honestly, he's going to find a way to incorporate Ultra Instinct into these other transformations that he has that's going to just amplify what he's already capable of. Vegeta is not going to be able to do the same thing with his form or technique, whatever they're calling it.
I mean, Goku already is doing that though, but he
Yeah,
just can't use like the full potential in his base form. So maybe he
exactly.
just goes base form in his full potential. Like that's the best he could do at this point.
Honestly, I got a lot of friends who they said that they're not going to read the manga for a while because this whole Vegeta thing has pissed them off, and I
Right.
don't blame them.
I don't blame
I
him
mean,
either.
I'm just doing it just so I know what I'm talking about when I do reviews on it. But I'm not reading it for enjoyment because I'm not getting any out of it. I've been saying I've been predicting this stuff like when the Moro thing happened. I told everybody months before it happened. I said Goku is going to do the "Lend me your energy" speech. And everybody was like, "No, Vegeta's got a new technique, and Vegeta's going to be the one to get the victory." I said, "Trust me, Goku's going to win, and he's going to win by asking everybody to give him energy." And guess what? He stole the Susanoo from Itachi Uchiha and did exactly what I said. And everybody was like, "How did you guess that?" I said, "Because I've been a fan of Dragon Ball for 30 plus years. And when you're a fan of something that long, you kind of become accustomed to how the writing goes and how they do things. Toriyama don't change that much. And when there are changes, it's because he allows somebody under him to kind of throw some stuff in there that he approves, like with Torotaro. But for the most part, the baseline Dragon Ball never changes. And that's why Goku's always the last man standing.
Well, I mean, you sure as hell called it out with Vegeta losing this fight, you know, and every other YouTuber was like, oh, Vegeta has a chance, including me. And you're like, no, he don't. This man is going to get his ass kicked, and we all know it, right? Like, you called it out, and sure enough, you're right.
How many fights have we saw where Vegeta gets a new form, and he's taking control of the fight, taking advantage, winning the fight, and something happens and he starts losing? Or something happens and everybody dies, like with Resurrection F. You know, Goku tags in Vegeta. Vegeta's getting the putting the pounding on Frieza, and then boom, Frieza blows the planet up. And then Goku comes in after Whis violates the rules and rewinds time and saves the day. I mean, look at what happened with Android 18. Look what happened with Cell. Every time Vegeta gets this new power level, the arrogance level goes up with it, and then he loses. Happens every time. The Frieza saga, the whole Cell games could have been nothing but a dream if Vegeta had went ahead and just wiped out Cell when he was in his imperfect form. Instead, oh, I'm stronger than everybody. Go ahead and absorb your dumb android. And you saw what the results of that was. Goku had to die for everybody to figure out that Gohan was going to get the W, and Vegeta got another L every time.
Yeah.
And the only major opponent that Vegeta has beaten recently is Topo, and that was in a non-consequential tournament of power where everyone knew that somebody was going to wish everybody back with the Dragon Balls. As soon as they announced the Super Dragon Balls as the prize, I knew immediately that no matter who won, everyone would be wished back. I knew it. And I knew it would be somebody from Universe 7. I thought it would either be Goku or Vegeta or Gohan. I thought it would be one of them who did it. Because Vegeta had already promised to wish back Universe 6 if they lost. He had already said he was going to do it. So I knew he was in on it. Now the 17, that twist kind of caught everybody off guard because nobody expected 17 to be the winner, even though technically Goku won. But it's so predictable. I think that's what I'm getting at.
That's what fans are. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Fans are upset because it's too predictable. They don't take any risks with the story. They follow the same old tropes. We won it. The reason we were so excited for Vegeta to get this form and actually take a win is because if he was able to win, that would have broken the predictability of Dragon Ball Super finally. Like that's what fans are really dying for is like taking risks, doing different things, and not just all the same old wash, rinse, repeat. And that's exactly what happened with Vegeta. And it just doesn't like give fans much hope for the series. It's not that like, oh, we care about Vegeta more than Goku or anything like that. Like the core of it, the core reason that fans got so upset at this chapter and they've been getting upset over and over is because it's the same story over and over again. And we want so desperately for things to change, for, like Vegeta taking a W is one way of it for it to change. They could do stuff like they could remove God power altogether, right? Like you said, there's a lot of, like, they could explore the different universes, and you could introduce like some really cutting edge and complex characters that are compelling, that give some, like Goku, something to look forward to. But it's just like we all know what's going to happen now. Like it's clear as day, like how the rest of the arc plans out. Like basically, like Goku's going to end up winning at the end of the day, and that's it. Like nobody's going to die except maybe Granola. I doubt Frieza's going to die. Heaters will probably wish to be strongest, and everybody's going to team up against him. I mean, it's very, very predictable.
Yep.
And that when something's that predictable, it becomes way less fun.
Well, when you have a situation where the only people who actually beat major villains is Goku or his sons, when that's the way it always is, it's hard to get excited. I mean, you can even go to Dragon Ball GT. They fused into Gogeta, level 4 Gogeta, still couldn't finish Omega Shenron off. And what happens? Goku beats him with a Spirit Bomb. So even when you think that Vegeta's going to have a small part to play in the victory, Goku still ends up getting the win. It doesn't matter if it's Heroes, Super, GT, Z, it don't matter. It's either Goku or one of his kids. And it's almost like, why is Vegeta even in the story anymore? Why is Trunks in there? Why Piccolo, any of these other people? Because it always boils down to the Son family. It's one of those people. It's so predictable and boring now. I know how this is going to end. I know that when it's all over, everything's going to be restored to equilibrium. Goku's going to be the best. Vegeta's still going to be chasing his coattails. Yeah. And I think the Vegeta fans are going to drop off. I really do. Because I have a lot of fans of Vegeta, friends of mine, who they're just done. Like one of my friends said, he said, I'm going to give it a couple of months before I pick it back up. He said, because I want to give them at least some time to maybe do something different. I said, dude, that's a long wait for a train that won't come. And it's because you're asking Toriyama and his team, you asking him to go away from what works. The fact is, even though we don't like what's going on and we wish for changes, there's such a massive group of people that like this kind of writing that it's never going away because they're making a killing off of it. They know that even when people get angry, they're still going to read it. Yep. So there's no reason to change. Nothing that we do as fans is going to change what Toriyama and Toei and the Dragon Ball people, Shueisha or whatever, but they ain't going to change what they do. They know that the fans are upset, but they don't care. Because they know even a pissed off fan is still a fan.
I think that's a very good point. I mean, it's like I've said, every single month, fans say, I'm done with this, and they're always there. The views are still there. People are still complaining, saying the same thing month over month. I'm still covering it. I'm still reading it. It's just like that hope. You know what it is? It's like that desperate hope that things will finally change, and they never do. And, I think fans are getting tired of getting strung along, but like, how can you stop, like, hoping that things will change? I mean, I guess we'll see if people actually stop watching it and reading it and covering it, but I don't think so. I mean,
because Dragon Ball fans, especially guys like us, we span decades. It's hard to give up on something that you've been a fan of for that long. I can't stand what's going on. You've seen my streams, and I don't go in on Dragon Ball Super like I do because I just want to destroy it or I want to roast the fanboys. I've seen better Dragon Ball, and I know it can be better. And I think it's kind of messed up that you put out quality stuff, and now it's like they're coasting. I swear it just feels like they're coasting.
Yes.
Hey, we got the fan base locked in, so let's just give them whatever. That's what I feel like they're doing, and that's why it's hard to get invested. Because I'm gonna tell you, if Goku is the last man standing again, everybody's gonna say the same thing. Oh, well, Goku won again. And then you know what's going to happen right after that? Hey, guys, I can't wait for the next arc. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's Pete and repeat. After Moro, when Goku won, everybody was pissed. Why can't Vegeta get a win? And what happened? Man, I can't wait till this new arc begins. It's almost like people just they memory wipe themselves and start over and just start on the next arc.
What was crazy to me was like how fans flip-flopped from the spoiler image of Vegeta being on his back to getting a little bit more context and completely changing their mind on the chapter in one day. Which, yes, we did get a little bit more context, but you know, they're trying to argue, and this is like the real reason I wanted to talk to you. They're trying to argue that this is fully explained and it all makes sense, right? But then you have the other half that's like, no, the man's supposed to be at the glass ceiling. Now you're just doing the a la carte approach where I want to prolong the story. I want to make sure Vegeta always loses. So I'm just going to give Granola more power just because. And
yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. That's why I said it's a la carte. It's that right now, it rotates. First, they give Goku whatever he needs to be the strongest. Then it rotates. They give it to Vegeta. Now it's rotated to Granola. And now they're going to give him whatever. Because I was looking at the panels and I was noticing this guy is using techniques that Frieza has, like telekinesis. He's using super speed. He's using ultra instinct speed.
He's using Hakai power.
He's using Hakai power. So it's whatever he needs to come out on top. And that right there is like, I was just like, wait a minute. You telling me you can't give him his own set of skills that are like individual to him? He's using everybody's techniques I was like, this is whack. I said, so Vegeta launches this giant ball of destructive, nobody can touch it energy. And this guy just points his fingers at it and blows it up and damages Vegeta. I just said, this is stupid. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not even gonna bite my tongue. I said, this is stupid. Okay. Vegeta had to almost kill himself to stop a even bigger Hakai ball launched by Toppo. He had to use the destruction move that he did against Majin Buu to stop one of those. This guy can just do it with his fingertips. I just said, this is dumb. Right now, we're getting the worst writing we've ever seen out of the Dragon Ball room. This is the worst I've ever seen it. It makes no sense.
You know what would have been good? Instead of Granola awakening the eye, if Vegeta threw the ball and Granola had a moment of conscience and actually like pretty much almost sacrificed himself to stop the ball from destroying his home world, right? So like that's like the bloodthirsty Vegeta. Like that's something Vegeta, from the Saiyan saga would do, right? I'm going to blow up the planet and you're going to have to like sacrifice yourself to stop it. That if Granola did that, and then even if Granola was technically stronger than Vegeta, but Vegeta did that in order to take the W, showing some sort of bloodthirsty technique, and then Granola's laying on the ground and he's not dead, but like Vegeta had won. That's it. That's all they had to do right there.
Yep.
Because then Vegeta wins. Goku would have get up and been like, hey, don't kill him. We were all played, right? But even so, and then the whole heaters thing goes on. But even so, that right there would have been how you write it.
Yeah. But something else I noticed too, they made Granola throw common sense out the window. When Granola learns that Frieza did the same thing to the Saiyans that happened to his world, and that the Saiyans were, they wasn't technically innocent, but at the same time they were, because they were being controlled by somebody who could destroy their whole race, which he eventually did anyway. So after learning that, he just takes off the little radio thing, slams it on the ground. And I'm thinking, wait a second, that's not a rational response. I don't care how pissed off he is. If you're fighting to kill somebody that you think destroyed your race, and you fighting two Saiyans that had nothing to do with it, and you find out that their home world was destroyed by Frieza just like you, wouldn't you stop and say, all right, look, Frieza's the real enemy, not these guys? That's a rational response. He's like, no, screw this. I'm going to keep fighting guys that had nothing to do with my planet's destruction. That makes no sense. It's almost like what they did with Thanos. Thanos in Infinity War made perfect sense. His whole everything about wanting to get rid of half-life, everything he said made sense. It was rational. It was measured. It wasn't out of revenge or bloodlust or nothing. But in Endgame, they erased all that, and Thanos just wanted to kill everybody all of a sudden. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And that's what they did with Granola. They just took all his rationale away and said, now you're just a guy that wants to beat people up. And I was like, wow, they missed an opportunity right here. This is where he could have powered down. Him and Goku and Vegeta could have talked, and they could have focused on the real problem. But they just blew right past that point. It was dumb.
They could have done it there too. They could have stopped fighting right there, and that way Vegeta wouldn't have lost, right? And you still would have been piqued at interest at how far he could go. You could have done it the way I said it, with Granola nearly sacrificed himself to save the planet after Vegeta throws his death ball. There was a lot of options, a lot of good options they could have taken this, and they went with perhaps the dumbest one, in that a man who's supposed to be at 100% is still pulling out more power out of his ass. And and I mean that's how I feel about it, and that's how you feel about it. And I know like at least half the fan base feels that way about it, but the other half is saying it makes sense. Like, well, they always find a way to explain it. You
got another problem brewing too, because Vegeta wasn't knocked unconscious or whatever. The Vegeta has a chance argument has begun.
Oh yeah.
And I've been trying to explain.
He's not out yet. He's not done yet. I've seen a lot of those comments.
I was like, yeah, he hasn't been beaten yet. I agree. He's not out. But the problem that you have is that the damage that Vegeta took is before Granola's other eye unlocked. Before he unlocked his Sharingan or his Rinnegan or whatever it is. Now that he's unlocked even more power, what chance does Vegeta actually have? And that's like the fanboys blow past that. I don't care if Vegeta's still breathing, so he's still got a chance. Dude, the guy who just put him on his back is even more powerful now.
Yep.
Okay, so think rationally. I know it's a manga, but just be rational about it. I understand people want Vegeta to get a W so bad, but guys, it's not coming here. He's not going to beat this guy. It's probably he's going to get a victory somewhere in this arc against somebody, maybe against one of the heaters. Who knows? But it's not going to be this one. You're not beating Granola.
Yeah, fans think that he's going to reach over, eat the Senzu, and he'll have gotten an insane Zenkai from all the hits he had taken, and somehow be able to beat Granola right there.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's not going to happen.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Goku's gonna get up, or the wish is gonna be made and just interrupt the fight.
Well, I said that a while back too. That I think that all this is a distraction, and then once the dragon appears in the sky, they're gonna. I mean, every time a dragon's been summoned in Dragon Ball, everybody stops what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I think that's ultimately what's gonna happen, and that's when you're gonna get Elect or whoever he is to make his wish. And like I said, it's going to come down to power or immortality or a combination of the two, however he does it. But that's what it's going to be. And then that's when they're going to realize that this guy is the real villain. Simple as that. Because I think that he is the actual real villain of the story. I don't even think it's Frieza at this point. I think it's these heater guys.
Yeah, no, it's pretty clear. I mean, Toyotaro pretty much even said that in the interview, that Heater's the villain.
I think at some point Granola is going to become a part of their friendship group, because it happens every time with Goku. Him and Naruto have that power. Because I'll be honest, Broly had no reason to become friends with Goku at the end of that movie. The last thing Broly remembers is this guy was trying to blast me to pieces. So as soon as Goku showed up, Broly should have transformed and dusted him, if you ask me. That would have made more sense. But they have to do the friendship thing. And that's one of Goku's greatest powers. I don't care who it is. They end up being his homeboy. So I think him and Granola going to be buddies, sparring partners, whatever. Same thing he did with Jiren. They friends now. They respect each other. I mean, it's just on and on and on.
Well, I feel like Granola has to die in this arc. I mean, if he doesn't, what are they going to do? Use the Earth Dragon Balls to reverse his wish so he can become part of the Z Fighters or something? Like,
I think they're going to use the Super Dragon Balls to reverse his wish. His wish is not permanent. I think that his wish is going to be overwritten, and not to take away his power, but to keep him from dying. It's going to be like a mercy kind of thing. You know Goku is going to be Mr. Sentimental. They're going to try to find a way to save him. It always happens that way.
I was saying for so long during the Moro arc, there's no way they're actually going to kill Mirrors. Like, he has to sacrifice himself, but it's a kid show and they'll bring him back. And they did. I was like, of course. I was like, wow, they actually killed him. I can't believe it. And then like,
there are no stakes anymore.
There's no stakes.
Like when the last time there was a permadeath, there are no fatalities. So there are no stakes.
Yeah,
in Dragon Ball Z,
stakes were so high, dude.
Yeah, the stakes were way higher. Like, we knew people could be wished back, but they did stuff like, okay, the dragon can only wish back a certain number of people, so somebody got to stay dead.
And the dragon can only bring you back one time, right? Like,
yeah, stuff like that to keep down the number of returns. I thought that was a good idea, but now the Dragon Balls seem infinite, and then you got the Super Dragon Balls, which we know are infinite. So at some point, there's going to be a wish made to fix everything, just like they did at the end of the Tournament of Power. Hey, I want to wish everybody back, fix it all. I think that's what's going to happen.
4 sets of Dragon Balls, dude. 4.
Yeah, that's too many.
It's way too many. That can, and one of them that can do literally anything.
And then you got to throw Whis in there. Whis can literally do anything.
Yeah, he's basically a dragon. I mean, he can reverse time. He can bring people back to life. So
I think they've screwed the story up. I think it's too many moving parts, and they need to kind of bring it in. The gods, the grand priest should show up, and he should say, "Look, you guys are too powerful. You got a choice. You can live with the gods, or you can shed this power and stay with your families. But you can't have both." That's honestly what needs to happen.
I'd be cool with that.
And if they decide, and I got a feeling that Goku would be the one to keep his power and go with the gods, because he's a battle maniac. Because anytime Goku has a chance to run off and train and fight, he takes it. So Goku, look how many times he's left his family for just fighting.
It's like you said, it's way too deep. There's 4 dragons. There's so many god forms. They keep creating villains out of thin air. You know, to even create a villain that can fight against god levels Vegeta and Goku is like very hard. I mean, it should be like an evil angel or just some person with a crazy ass backstory, kind of like Moro. I mean, I was fine with Moro. Like, the whole concept of him was pretty cool. His design was different, you know, and then, you know, unfortunately we got back into the tropey stuff. But all right, man. Well, it's good talking to you. And for anybody watching, a link to his channel will be in the description. And
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, don't roast me too hard, brother.
I hit you the other day on the you kind of fanboyed it up a little bit, but it wasn't as bad as you used to do. Like, I can tell the difference between the old Dragon Ball fire and now this new kind of enthusiasm is not quite the same, because it's hard to get excited about what you know is going to come anyway.
Yeah, but you know, like, honestly, I've been more critical about Super lately, and fans have been more responsive. So
they're not as apprehensive about criticism as they used to be. They used to be totally against it, but now people are starting to open up to it. And I think this last chapter is what caused it, because they kind of see the criticism is real at this point. Appreciate you help bringing me on to let me spew my point of view, man. You one of the few guys with a decent sized channel that actually listens to smaller people, so I appreciate it.